Epic narratives. Where do you get your story ideas? We are doing some epic narratives here in 2020. Story ideas. Where do they come from? Well, many people start by thinking about their home. Many stories happen at home, so I'd like you to think about your home. Now, this could be the home that you've always lived in, or maybe it's the home that you recently moved to. So you might think about the kitchen. Maybe you have a story about baking with someone at home. Maybe in the bedroom, and someone told a ghost story. Maybe you have a story about the living room when you broke something, perhaps a lamp. You might have a story in the bathroom of throwing up, getting sick. So the house is a great place to think of stories. Now we're thinking of just ordinary stories because we want some realistic fiction. We'll talk about that in a minute. You might think of anybody who was there. What happened when they were there? Who was it? Well, so go ahead and draw your house. We'll stop this in a minute and give you some time to do that. So my house might look like this, and I might draw some things about where some stories happened. You might think a little bigger. You might think about your neighborhood. Do you spend much time out in your neighborhood? Maybe you went to David's for a sleepover, and something happened while you were there. Maybe at the supermarket you locked your keys in the car, or your dad did that. Maybe you went to the library and found a new series. Now these can be simple things that happened, but they can all be made into a story. Perhaps you were at the park and you learned how to do a handstand. Notice we are not thinking about amazing adventures of people coming from outer space or whales showing up in the pool. We're thinking about normal things that happened. Again, here's my neighborhood, and I'm going to show you some things that happened there. Now, the next thing you might do is you might think about people who are important to you. You might think about your mom, perhaps your dad, your brother, my brother Chris, my friend Rob, there's my grandma. Then I start thinking, well, what stories do I have about mom? Well, mom always took me to piano. I wonder if that could be a story. I bet there are other stories with mom too. I could think of stories that happened with my friend Rob. I remember this bike race we had. Didn't turn out very well. You might think about places that you've been. Perhaps moving to a new place. You might think about going camping at the beach, at the cabin. Maybe you got lost somewhere. Maybe you went on vacation and you ordered some food in a new language. Perhaps you were at grandma's house and you made a video of her telling some old stories about when she was little. Maybe at the park near your house you got in a fight with somebody. That could happen. Maybe at the library you spilled Mountain Dew on a computer. I'm not saying I did that, but it's just an idea, right? Maybe you went to the theater or at the mall. You snuck into the theater or you found a new shirt that you like. All of these things can be woven into a new story. So, here is your job. When I'm done with the instructions, I would like you to stop the video and to make one drawing and one list. So, one drawing will look kind of like this, and then you will fill in ideas about people and stories. And your list will look just like this. Make a list of people and settings. Now, keep in mind that we're thinking about people who can have problems and places that those problems can happen, right? We want to make sure that we have a story. And then you are going to choose one. You're going to choose one character in one setting, but you have to come up with many ideas because oftentimes the best ideas come later in a list. This will be the character for the rest of your story. So choose wisely. You're going to be living with this character for the next 5 weeks or so. All right. You might ask, what's the difference between a personal narrative or realistic fiction? Because we are writing realistic fiction. Well, a personal narrative tells the story of how you solved a problem. Realistic fiction, you might take your personal story and then change the place, or the time, or the gender, or the name. Change something about it. So now it's not you anymore. It's not you at your house. It's John at his house. Or John at the park, right? You can figure this out by changing just one thing or two things. And then you have your character solve the problem. Add some tension. Add some mystery. Right? So those are where you get your story ideas from. Again, what is this going to look like? Well, on our Epic Narratives document, if you click on week 1, it will take you down to week 1. You're going to insert your picture there of that map. You are going to fill out this chart. Keeping in mind that authors write about what they know, please choose a character that's close to your age, or an age that you have experienced. That is, one younger than you are now. After you fill that out, you're going to come down here and you're going to actually choose a character. Go ahead and fill in a picture of your character and the setting, a picture of the setting if you'd like. If you click on the teacher example, it might look something like this. Here's mine. There is my neighborhood, and here along the side, I have all sorts of story ideas that happened. And I scroll down, and I have not finished mine, but I've started filling in some ideas. Who are these people? Who are these places? You're going to choose one that is close to your age, and there we go. You will choose one, put in a picture of your setting if you'd like. You might add in a picture of your character. Are you done? Well, did you choose a character who's your age or younger? Someone who can have a problem? You describe the character above. You chose a setting that you know well and can describe a place where a problem can happen. And you filled in all of the above information. Good luck. Let me know if you have any questions. Epic Narratives.